Good morning. And today I actually have new headshots I'm going to get done. So I'm excited about that. That's how I'm starting my day. Then immediately after that, we're going to the gym because it is leg day. And that should be a lot of fun as well. Then I'm going to open studio later because apparently they're having an open casting call for an agency. And that'll be a lot of fun to attend, my friends. Hopefully good things come out of that and hopefully they are actually doing it. But anyway, like I said, I'm getting ready for my new headshots. Hopefully this little red spot that I got from shaving kind of fades away. If not, they'll probably clean that up at least that spot in the edit. Like, I don't like overly edited headshots anyway. I'd rather my more natural look come out. But drinking a little bit of coffee, getting myself in the zone. We're going to drive out to the studio and we're going to get those pictures taken. And we're going to have some fun today. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. And I am at the gym parking lot and I'm doing a bit of a no-no here. Doing a canned pre-workout. I forgot to make a pre-workout before I left. I didn't want to be late to the shoot, obviously. So I went to the store and I grabbed a canned one. This is my favorite flavor of the C4 canned. So I'm not complaining too much. But still, I prefer my powdered mixed pre-workout. And also the best pre-workout is a good night's sleep. Remember that, everybody. But anyway, that was a lot of fun of a photo shoot. Went really quickly. It actually did take that hour. I wasn't expecting, because it felt like it was going by really quickly. But next thing I know, it's like, oh, it has been an hour. So that was pretty cool. And the photos are going to come out looking really nice. I know that because they were already looking nice before they did the touch-ups. The touch-ups aren't going to be doing too much here. It's more like little marks and stuff like that. He's just going to clean up. And I even said to him, I shave with like a straight razor. I'm training myself to shave. And normally I'm really good at it. Or a safety razor, mind you. Pardon me. That's one of the reasons I don't like canned pre-workouts, because it makes you burp a lot. But anyway, and I was like, I'm really good at it normally, and I can avoid getting all cut up, even though some days I do look like a vampire was making out with my neck. But I've been getting really much better at it. But, of course, today, that's the day when it decided to nick me right here when I have to get pictures taken, because of course. But some good news is next week I'm going to be in an athletic photo shoot. So that should be good. It should be fun. I have to get my body like trimmed up for that. Not just trimmed up in terms of like more tone, but like actually got to get rid of all the body hair, which is whatever. Can get some nair. I still have plenty left of that, so I'm going to use some of that. Also get a razor to run through it. Probably going to do... I have an electric razor, probably going to do a lot of that, get all of that removed as much as I can with that, and then nair the rest off. Should be pretty easy, but not too concerned about that. I'm excited to do it. Like I said, one of my goals for the year is to be in a fitness magazine, so this is basically step one. Hopefully that continues forward. Taking a lot of sips in between this, I know. But I'm trying to get this down as quickly as possible so that we can get to the gym, do a little bit of cardio, and then go hard on legs. It's not gonna be hard cardio today, just a light bit. 15 minutes on the bike, probably 15-20 minutes on the bike. Hopefully should get it done pretty easily, get some calories burned. And then, like I said, go ham on legs, get those bad boys pumped up. And hopefully I get to the point where I don't feel like I want to walk tomorrow, because that's the whole gains of leg day. Like, obviously there's gonna be a lot of mobility drills involved with this too. Mobility, strength, stretching is basically how I'm focusing on it. And then obviously at the end of the day I'm gonna do those split drills, which last night was pretty fun. I think I'm gonna do the split hold drill she has available. I think it's today's supposed to be front hold split We'll see. But anyway, let me finish this. I'm going to get into the gym, and I'm going to train my legs. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the gym. Now, today I just want to talk about something that has been frustrating me lately, and that is motorcyclists on the street. Now, not necessarily motorcyclists as a whole, because I think motorcycles are cool and they look fun, and I'm considering getting my motorcycle license one day because my one friend drives a Harley. He looks cool driving it. He's a bit of an older gentleman, but he pulls it off very well, and I want to look as cool as him one day. But more so that there tend to be cyclists who behave in a sort of similar way to people who ride bicycles on the street, where they kind of behave like they own the road. And why that bothers me is because it's simple. They are basically putting the responsibility of safety onto the drivers as opposed to themselves. Now, like I said, with a lot of other bikers, you'll see they're very courteous, they're very considerate, they go at a reasonable pace, they don't swerve in and out of everybody else, thrill seekers. They are going for a fun ride on their bike, and that is good. I like that a lot, get more fresh air, get more sun. But then you have people who ride like absolute lunatics, putting the responsibility of safety onto the people of the cars and not themselves. And that is what gets frustrating. And that's, like I said, that's what's similar between a motorcyclist that behaves that way and someone who likes to ride their bike on the road. Now, I don't even have an issue with people who like to ride their bikes when they're trying to get places. That's absolutely fine because, you're getting workout in, you're getting some sun, you're getting fresh air. That is fine. That is spectacular. I actually would say if things were a little bit closer, I would do that more so than actually driving my car everywhere. But again, they behave as if the burden of responsibility is for the people who are driving the cars and not just themselves. The burden of responsibility to make sure no one gets hurt is everyone's responsibility. But I think that's the issue a lot of people have with people who ride bikes on the street, is that it feels as though the people who are riding the bikes are exclusively putting the burden of responsibility on the drivers, as opposed to understanding that we all have an unofficial handshake here. Everyone has that burden of responsibility, and everyone needs to be cautious for the safety of others as well as themselves. And this was just something I was thinking about while I was driving around today. Just saw a bunch of people on motorcycles weaving in and out, and I was like, dude, come on now. Right from the gym and on the road. I'm kidding. I did stop off at the apartment for a little bit just to have a quick little protein snack, and now we are on our way to Open Studio. I'm hoping they're still having that agency audition for the agency in New York City, as well as a runway audition, because that would be awesome to be a part of. I'm not very good at runway, or it's not so much, runway isn't 100% my interest, but if I could ever get into a show, I'd obviously do it because they're pretty fun. At least the people I've seen do it, my friends who do it, say they have fun doing them. But like I said, acting is my thing. Modeling is kind of secondary to all that. I don't mind doing print modeling, but like the runway and fashion stuff isn't my overall thing. But I did do a runway show before, and I did a hair show that was pseudo runway last year, and I had a lot of fun doing them. Like I said, they're not my main aspiration, but if I get a chance to do them, of course I will. So we're gonna go to Open Studio, we're gonna have some lessons, hopefully do some auditions, and get some results, and I'll catch you guys later. I just want to say that even though this is about an hour drive from where I live, it's such a gorgeous day out. I don't even care. And I am back from acting class. Well, I'm actually back from my entire day, given that I actually went to the store after class, and I couldn't record class because they were doing pageant prep, and they were playing a lot of copyrighted music, and I don't want to test YouTube right now. So I am home, and you know what I did after I left acting class? I went to the grocery store because I am on a repetitive diet of ground turkey and ground chicken. It's not bad. I add some chili seasoning to it, and it actually tastes pretty good. But the one thing I actually wanted to talk about today were video game prices. Yeah, we're getting into fun, nerdy talk again, or not so fun because video game prices are starting to get out of control for whatever reason. We had the Switch announcing that it was going to be a bit of a high asking price. What was it, $450 or $500? You know, for a console in and of itself, I'm not too nitpicky of how expensive it is, as long as it's good technology. And I know that the Nintendo Switch is more like nearly 2 generations behind, but the original Switch was actually a lot of fun to have, and I still have mine. So, and the Switch 2 I was actually excited for, but it wasn't so much the cost of the system, it was the cost of the games. They announced Mario Party World at $80, or they didn't announce it, it was made public by a kind of a pseudo third party through like I forget, I think it was on Best Buy. $80. $80 for a video game. Now, if it was a collector's edition, not too bad. You could just be like, oh, hey, okay, an extra $10, $20. I get a cooler, upgraded edition. Nothing bad. But $80 just for a video game? Kind of insane, right? And we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew exactly what was going to happen. We knew that other video game companies were going to say, okay, now it's our turn. We're jacking up our prices too. And if people wouldn't have sold out the Switch opening day or during the pre-orders, it probably would not have happened. No, but everyone decided to pre-order the Switch, and then they all said, okay, we can do it too. But do these other companies have the history that Nintendo has? And is it going to work? I sure as heck hope not, because a lot of people are financially struggling, and video games are meant to be a way to distract yourself from how stressful the world can be. Not only that, everyone already knows this, but most video games are not worth the price of $70, $60, or even $50. Most of them are only around probably $30 to $40 with how quality they actually are. And I think the only way to get through this, if this is going to be a thing, is to say, you know what? You want to charge $80, then every single game from here on out needs to be treated as if it was trying to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece every single time. It's the only way to do it. Cost should go into the review at that point. Absolutely. The more you charge for it, the more I'm going to expect out of it. And it's not just length. We're not talking about length here. We're not talking about how long a game is necessarily, because you have games that go on forever and it's just not that fun. But then you have shorter games that wrap up relatively quickly, and they are a lot of fun. So if a game is going to be charging $80, I want to feel like that $80 is quality. It needs to be a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 at the minimum. All games need to now be strictly reviewed. Much harsher. Much harsher. Like I played this one game, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. If I paid full price for that, I would have given it like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 if I was a reviewer. But I got it for $2. So, to me, the game's not bad. For $2, it's not bad at all. But if I would have paid that full price, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And overall, it still is a fun game. But if you're going to jack up the price that much, then each review needs to follow through with, is this game out of 10 out of 10 or not? If it's not, then it's never going to be worth buying. Every game from here on out, every single game from here on out. That's the standard. if you're going to charge everyone that price, I'm sorry. But if you're not bringing a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece each time you're releasing a new game, then there is no excuse for having an $80 game. I don't care. I don't care what the excuse is. If you're not giving me $80 worth of quality, then your game is worth nothing. And this is what bothers me, because you had Clair Obscur, a game that is getting all around gorgeous reviews, and it's sold out. I'm trying to get a physical copy of it. You know what I can't do? Get a physical copy of it because it's sold out everywhere. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't charge $80 for it. They didn't charge $70. They didn't charge $60. They charged $49.99 plus tax in America. And it's sold out. And everyone's loving it. It's a high-selling game. Not just that, the Oblivion remaster or remake. $49.99. Those two should have slammed the door shut on them ever discussing the need to raise prices, because they don't. People are willing to buy games at a reasonable price, and you will sell much more that way. Because I'm not going to buy an $80 game. I'm not. Unless it's some absolute grand spectacle of a game. I am basically experiencing the Gone with the Wind of gaming, the Lawrence of Arabia, Ben-Hur, an absolute masterclass that storytelling is going to be changed completely because of this game. And if it's not, I'm not paying $80 for it. I don't care if it's a Persona game. I love Persona. I'm not paying $80 for it unless it's, like I said, the next level of storytelling, the next grand spectacle of art. This cannot fly. Everyone needs to put their foot down and say, no, I'm not doing it. Really, that, like I said, that should have happened with the Switch pre-orders. Everyone should be like, no, that's too much. Like the Switch in and of itself, that's, like I said, the price of the Switch for consoles, that's a little forgiving, even if it is still kind of overpriced. But the games, no. I'm sorry. Everyone needs to put their foot down and say, I'm not paying that. But for whatever reason, gamers just can't get over that. It feels like the fear of missing out affects gamers the most than it does anyone else. And the rest of us have to be punished for it. I don't know. Maybe because Xbox is the one doing this next and everyone's scared that Sony's going to do it next. The way Sony now can really get in good graces, they're like, we're not checking out our prices. That's how you stay in good standing with people. But if one person does it, the domino keeps falling and it keeps falling, and then we're just not buying new games anymore. I'm not paying $100 for Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6. I'm not paying $80 for Super Mario Kart World. And I'm not paying $80 for a new Xbox game. Cherokee agrees. She really does. And she loves video games. I love video games. We all love video games. That's why this channel is called Dolby Zed the Fit Nerd, because of my love of video games. Obviously, there's more to that. You know, my love of books, my love of film, my love of art as a whole. It really is disappointing because this year, it felt like games were making a comeback. Like getting some really solid quality games. Some ones that were just kind of coming out of nowhere too. Like Clair Obscur. And then they just slammed the door right in our face saying, hey, we're not even done this generation yet and we're jacking up the prices of everything. Isn't that just fun? Anyway, I'm going to play a couple more games before I go to bed tonight. It's getting kind of late. So, I'll catch you all later. Peace. Moon.